Pacifiers for newborns: when to start, when to stop, and how to wean. Hi, moms. Welcome back to Savvy Motherhood, your trusted space for expert guidance and real talk about motherhood. Today, I'm going to dive into a very debated baby tool: pacifiers. Are they a lifesaver or a bad habit waiting to happen? Here's my take. Pacifiers are amazing tools, but only for a limited time. I personally recommend using pacifiers for no more than 6 months. After that, it can turn into a nightmare you do not need. So let me explain why. Let's start with the good stuff, because there's a reason so many parents rely on pacifiers. They are instant baby calmers. Babies do have a natural need to suck, and it's called non-nutritive sucking, meaning they're not sucking to get milk, but it is a soothing mechanism. This is built into them, and they do need it for the first few months. A pacifier can be a lifesaver during these meltdowns or fussy moments, especially in those early weeks. And it does reduce the risk of SIDS. Studies have been shown that pacifiers during sleep can help lower the risk of sudden infant death syndrome by keeping the airways open and also keeping them in a little bit more of a lighter sleep. So that's a big win for peace of mind at bedtime. Now, the practical distraction. We do need to survive a long car ride sometimes, or we need to soothe our baby, during doctor's visit or something. And pacifiers can buy you a lot of time. And it sounds great, right? But there is more to the story. Here's where things get tricky. Pacifiers can also cause problems, especially if they're used for too long or just too often. There's really no reason to have a pacifier in your baby's mouth all day and all night. There are dental issues that can come up when you use them for an extended amount of time. And we want to be really careful that we don't create a reliance on them. So there are some dentists who will tell you that it can cause misalignment, cause their teeth to come in and crooked, or really change the way their mouth is formed. It can impact the way your baby eats when they start solid foods. All of this may or may not happen, but it is a possibility. And then, as I said, the sleep dependency. Babies can become really reliant on pacifiers to fall asleep. This can be a major issue because that means in the middle of the night, when the pacifier falls out, you know who is going to have to go over and put it back in their mouth because they won't be able to fall back asleep without it. And mamas, we don't need any more reasons to lose sleep. So I want to talk about the weaning. This is where my strong opinion comes in. If you let your baby keep a pacifier past 6 months, you're really setting yourself up for a major battle when it's time to wean. And if you have another baby on the way at some point, I implore you to make this happen well before that next newborn comes along. Here's the thing. Babies don't need the non-nutritive sucking after 6 months. They really don't need it after 4 months, but I'm giving you a couple months to get used to the idea. By then, they're more mature, more aware, more attached to their pacifier, and taking it away becomes a bigger challenge than it ever needed to be. So my savvy motherhood rule is to use a pacifier as a tool, but not as a crutch. Here's my rule of thumb. Use pacifiers strategically from the beginning and stop using them by the 6-month mark. Think of a pacifier as training wheels. It's not something you want to keep forever. Use it just to soothe your baby during those tough times in the early months. After 6 months, phase it out. This is the sweet spot before your baby's old enough to get overly attached. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, my baby loves their pacifier. It's the only thing that makes them happy. And that is totally normal. Of course, babies love what soothes them. But there are other ways to offer comfort. And we can do this. So, how do you say goodbye to the pacifier without major drama? Well, here's what works for me and what I recommend. Start around 4 months and do it gradually. Take the pacifier only to bed at nap time and bedtime. If it's 100% under my control, the pacifier isn't used that much anyway, so it's not going to be very long to get rid of it. It's just going to be it can be gradual, but it's going to be a short runway because they're not using it that much anyway at that point. You want to replace it with other comforts. Now at 6 months, 4, 5, 6 months, your baby can't have a lovey in their bed yet. They probably can't roll over or sit up or reach around to get the pacifier themselves. So this is not a time you can replace it with some other comfort item, but you can replace it with just some new thing that you introduce to the routine of going to bed, like a song or rubbing the baby's back, patting the baby's back, shushing. Put that in place of the pacifier. The key here is be consistent. Once you decide it's time to stop, commit to it. Do not confuse your baby by giving it back just once because they're sick or they don't feel well. Don't do it. The key is to stop before your baby gets old enough to argue with you. Trust me, a 2-year-old's tantrum over losing their pacifier is a whole different level of drama. You can do this. Do it quicker. Do it earlier. So the final verdict on pacifiers, they're not inherently bad. They can be incredibly helpful, but like any parenting tool, it's all about how and when you use them. My advice is to use them in the early months when you truly need them, but have a plan to stop before your baby hits 6 months. You will thank yourself later, trust me. Now, I'd love to hear from you if you've had any pacifier struggles or do you swear by them? Share your experience in the comments. I can't wait to chat with you all. And as always, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with another mom who might need to hear it. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bells